So it is November 2nd, year 2023. I don't actually remember when the last journal entry was. I think it was maybe a month or maybe even 2 months ago. I've honestly completely lost track of time. But it's almost a year of doing this thing. Obviously I've slowed things down a lot compared to the beginning of the new year, but I say like the fact that I can actually continue do this for a year itself is pretty impressive, considering that like I don't have much going on in my daily life anyways. Like even if I do this like weekly, there's not much I can really write about either. And I don't like getting things that are like really personal or like really exact with what's going on in my life. Like have those things down. Like I'm not comfortable with that. Like even if I'm writing a personal like journal or diary or whatever, I still don't like doing that. No, I actually almost forgot about doing this journal entry today, but I was reminded because I've been feeling kind of lost recently. So what I was doing before, like maybe around 15-20 minutes before, was I was just listing things down about like what I enjoy doing and what I my current worries are, and then I realized, oh wait, I have a journal entry where I can just get all these out there and kind of like help organize my thoughts. So I was like, you know what, let's just do that. So yeah, right now in front of me I have like a list of things that I guess I'll be putting into this entry. There's quite a lot since it has been quite a while. And as I've said before, I've been feeling kind of lost recently. So let's begin with that. What do I mean by I'm feeling a bit lost? Maybe it's also a bit of brain fog, but it kind of just feels like I'm losing control over my own life and the directions I wanted to go. Maybe not exactly that, but I feel like this body, I'm losing control over it, is how I feel. It feels like I'm like my consciousness and my like body movements or how I go about my day kind of have this lag. Like if I were to say to compare to something, it's like playing a video game, right? And my consciousness is like the player that's controlling the character in the game. And my body and everything else is the game itself. Right? And I feel like there's some kind of weird lag, whereas I'm trying to go this direction and my body or my character doesn't exactly follow my commands exactly. It sometimes like misses out on stuff, or it's like sometimes just do things very weirdly. And I'm hearing water sounds from upstairs. Yeah, whatever. And it's just this it's not really a very comfortable feeling. I don't know if I'm going crazy or whatever, but yeah, not exactly the best. I think I need some break time. I have some sick days that maybe I can use, but I'm not exactly the type of person that you know likes to pretend to be sick or whatever. But I think I'll like start using that a bit more. I have quite a bit of hours saved up, so I guess I'll pick some time and use them, I guess. I feel like I really need the recovery time. But anyways, but yeah, because I've been feeling kind of weird recently, I kind of wanted to just list things out about myself to help me like kind of anchor myself somewhere, like based on something, because I'm also kind of feeling like I'm losing my sense of self. Who am I? What am I doing? What are my like I don't know aspirations and whatnot, like things that make me me. I feel like I'm losing grasp on these things as well. So I begin listing things that I currently enjoy doing, which honestly are not many. I only have three. But they all have like some big buts behind them. So first of all, cooking. I do like to cook, but I can't really like make many dishes because the fire alarm kind of sucks. Or maybe not the fire alarm, but like the place I live right now doesn't exactly have like the best ventilation. So it's very easy to trigger the fire alarm. So I haven't been using the oven at all. The oven, honestly, it's quite old and it's quite dirty. The roommates, yeah, it's not really didn't really treat this place that well. I feel like they're actually going to be moving out soon because I see them like moving like every time they come back, like I guess maybe once a month, they also always like take something away as well. So I think they're going to move away soon. But yeah, cooking, I can't really fully enjoy it because there's just like I don't have many things to work with, and also I'm trying to limit my budget because I'm trying to save up some money. Uh, Video games, obviously, but honestly, it's been I think 2 days, including today, maybe day before, like 3 days even, that I've just not really been playing anything at all. It's just I'm kind of in an emotional lull right now. I think I mentioned this before, where it's like I'm not exactly feeling the best. Uh, didn't expect it to go any worse, but yeah, I can't really enjoy video games that much either. I'm kind of really lacking interest or like motivation to play them, and I don't know. I'm not really. This is not a good sign for me. I watch a lot of videos, like YouTube videos and stuff. Not exactly the most healthy thing to do. I like honestly, I think I just do it too much. I don't have the screen time whatever thing. That tracks like which app you use the most. I'm pretty sure it's going to be YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be like over maybe 12 hours a day. I think it's pretty bad. Um, yeah, I need to decrease my screen time like a huge lot. But we'll get to that later because this in itself is actually a big talking point. And then I started to list my worries, and this is where I kind of like began to go down a bit of a spiral, I guess. So first things first, I mentioned that I was saving up money, and mostly I was saving up money for me to go back to school. I'm trying to get myself into criminology, and take it as my second major. Even though I've already graduated, apparently you can still do that. You can like just like take a number of necessary courses and just focus on those instead of like the whole like 4 year thing. So it will only take like maybe 2 years for me to get a second major kind of out there. I get it completed. So yeah, I'm saving up, and obviously I'll be a full-time student, so I need to save up some money for my living expenses during that time, as well as for the tuition, which the tuition is actually the cheapest part. The expensive part are, yeah, living is hard. Living is very expensive. Okay, and then I also okay, my second worry is about my screen time, my dopamine receptor stuff. I think I just have too much going on in my head. Where like it's there was this, I think, a while back where I was like, I'm watching too many YouTube videos. I need to like tune it back a bit. So I stopped doing that like before I go to sleep. I stopped watching videos before I go to sleep, and I stopped watching videos like when I wake up. Right? I tried that for a few times, and it kind of, I think I was kind of feeling a bit neutral, but honestly, I think right now I can't really do that anymore, or at least it's going to be very difficult because like ever since that, I just went back to my old ways. Like I couldn't do it for a really long time, and now I think my condition is actually just worse now. Now it's really difficult for me to like go to sleep before like watching a bunch of like random ass videos. Like I just keep refreshing and shit. It's really unhealthy. It's not a healthy habit. And I think I need some kind of hardcore detoxing. And apparently the best way to do it is just to cut it off for a week. Like cut my phone off. And I think I'll pick a time. I'll try to do it. My other worry. This is the worry that really kicked off everything. Is I feel like I'm losing myself, whereas like my sense of individuality is what I've put on here, on my list, where it feels like my days are becoming just too mundane, and I really hate like the mundaneness that comes with living life. But I also see myself slowly kind of getting more and more used to it, and it's really kind of scary. Because it feels like a part of me is changing in real time, and I'm watching it change in real time, and I don't think I really like I don't think I really like that. It's also why like I don't enjoy the concept of like getting myself out of depression because I'm so used to being a depressed person. Like it feels like being depressed has just become a part of me, and like imagining myself not being that way is honestly a very scary thought. But yeah, back to like I'm feeling like I'm losing my individuality. It feels like it's just like I'm going to work and I come back from work and I eat, sleep, and I continue everything all over again the next day. And this is honestly something I've been trying my best to avoid for the longest time. Like the feeling of being a cog in a huge machine without any value as an individual is really, really scary feeling. And me seeing myself getting used to that's even worse. Oh my god, it's just not a comfortable feeling at all. It's not a comfortable thought either. And the worst part of it is like my current job, I didn't really choose, or it's not really one of my choices, my preferred choices to go for. Like this is the job I'm doing right now is a job that it's a familial pressure. It's from my family, right? Like just to make them happy, and it's like sure, I'll do this for a while. It's been what, like I've been working in this company for maybe 1 year, almost 1.5 maybe. Yeah, next like January or something, it'll be 1.5 years. And I don't know. I'm not happy with this workplace. I'm not happy with the environment. I'm not happy with the work culture or the content of my work. Like nothing about it is like it gives me like self-gratification. Things are too easy, nothing is challenging, and things are too smooth. And it's really it's slow. I feel like it's slowly killing me inside, from the inside. Maybe this is just me, but I prefer to have some ups and downs in my life. Like I would like to have some challenges in my life. And maybe that is why I like enjoyed school so much, is because, there were things that were difficult. There were things that were obviously, emotionally and physically, very tiring. And at the moment, I'd be like, man, I hate this so much. But looking back, I'm kind of happy that I had those experiences, because like it's kind of a weird way to say it, maybe a bit cliche even, but it gives character. Tribulations and difficulties, these are, I think, things that people have to experience if they want to grow as a person. And I feel like these are things that I am very much lacking because like my parents are maybe just overprotective, and I've never really like gone through any kind of like difficulties in my life, or difficulties that are like big enough to really like make myself how should I say it? Make myself feel like I've grown when if I were to compare myself to the past, right? And like the past 2 years or so, I feel like I've stopped growing, and I don't like that. I want to keep going, like some kind of direction, right? Some kind of change to me, and I feel like I've not been really having that. Like if we're going to talk about change, I feel like I'm becoming more more like a what would you call it? I feel like myself is becoming a halibut. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. I feel like those like flat fish. I don't know why. Like just lazying around like on the bottom of the sea floor, not really doing anything, not really doing a lot, but not really doing thing like less, I guess. Just like below average kind of a feeling. I don't like that. I just feel like I've been like in the year and a half in particular, like nothing, I've not really done anything out of my own like what do you call it, volition. Like I've been just operating on a time schedule not set by myself, and feel like kind of being pushed by like I wrote here, I feel like I've been pushed around by the wave of time and societal pressures. But honestly, I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but yeah, I feel like I'm just going along with the wave, and I don't like that feeling. That's all I can say, really. And this is just making me even more like desperate for that that school application to go through, because like I still have to apply if I want to go to my second major, and that is my own decision. I wanted to like go back to school and pursue a different degree, or try to like get a different major, or some new things. And I think I just really want that right now, and everything else is just like becoming lesser in my like in terms of my personal priorities. And now I'm just trying to like I guess fill my daily life like before I can get my my application like go through, like get approved, get my offer. I need to find something to kind of like fill this gap, because I'm really feeling empty these days. And maybe like I've been thinking about going back to drawing a bit more. I've had some ideas, some like stuff that I might want to draw, but like I have enough motivation to think about it, but not enough to like make my arms move, is the thing. Like, oh man, it's literally feels like, you know, in the morning, it's like, oh, I really need to get out of bed and go to work. Oh, but my body is just refusing. Like that kind of feeling is how I kind of feel when it comes to going back to drawing or like writing or whatever. And I feel like just, I don't know, maybe I'm also like becoming too conscious about like my surroundings and myself. And because I'm becoming more conscious of these things, I'm starting to realize more how like kind of like empty my current life is, because I'm pretty sure like it's been like this for a while, right? I've said a long time before, after like starting this job, that like, you know, like this job is pretty easy. It's pretty boring to do, and there's a lot of free time where I just don't know what to do with. I've been probably feeling empty for the longest time, but I'm just finally realizing it, and all the emotional pressure is finally piling up, and I'm finally seeing it. we'll see how this goes, I guess. I don't know. In terms of new hobbies, I can't really think of anything to do. Also, I'm trying to save money, so like I don't know, I don't want to spend too much. I think I have to go back to pushing myself to doing more drawings, but I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know if that's healthy or not. Maybe I need to like be more decisive and just like cut some more budget for myself and say, you know what, I am going to spend like this much money on myself this month on like art lessons, because like paying for an art lesson is way more motivating than just like saying to yourself, oh, I am going to do this today, or I'm going to do this in this week. No, I like paying for something, like knowing that you have paid for something is such a big motivator. So I think I need to do that. In fact, I should probably do that like right after I finish doing this journal entry. It's already been like 21 minutes with the stuff I've talked about. Okay. What else is there? Cause like, oh man, I wrote so much. This was just like 1/3 of of stuff. But anyways, got some extra stuff that I've written down on my notes here. Oh yeah, I did some online tests a while back, and I think I'm autistic. High functioning, but yeah, very much autistic. Apparently, like categorizing things a lot is a big trait for autism. And then it's like at the time when I saw the question, it's like, oh, do you like to organize things into categories? Like, do you like to do that? Do that a lot. And at first I was like, what do you mean by that? Like just OCD stuff, like organizing things. But then I realized is like how much I enjoy using very like when I'm saying things, when I'm forming sentences, whether vocally or like written down, I like to be very precise with what I want to express. That's why like sometimes I get these very big pauses between sentences or even mid-sentence, because I'm thinking about the right word to use for a certain situation. And very often I'll literally be like, say a certain word out, and then I'll quickly follow up, but I'm not sure if this is the right way to say it. I'm not sure if this is the correct word. I'm not sure if this word is fitting. Like I use this very, very often. And apparently I think this actually counts as categorizing things. And I do that so much. Like I really enjoy like having things be like precise and clear. Like I really dislike all those like maybe this is why I don't like dealing with like human relationships that much, because human relations like between like under normal circumstances can be very subtle, right? Like things are not exactly the most clear, and like reading emotions is not exactly my forte as either. So it becomes a very awkward situation where it's like I just don't like dealing with people because I can't do it. Maybe I'm also like maybe it's I think this is also like a trait for psychopathy, right? Where it's like you have a difficult time understanding other people's emotions, or like relating to them, or like reading other people's emotions. Because like when people talk about how emotional they feel, or it's like if it's an emotional situation, I a lot of the cases I can only really understand it as like consciously understand it as an emotional situation, like going to a funeral. Oh, this is a time where people are usually sad. Going to a comedy show. Oh, this is usually a situation where people laugh a lot, right? I can like consciously acknowledge these things, but for me to really like feel these emotions, to have a genuine like emotional reaction in these like situations is actually something I find myself like very difficult to do. Like there's this example. I'm not gonna go go in like with too much detail, but it's a very serious like a situation where like I know that I should be doing a specific like emotional reaction, and I was almost like forcing myself to do it, but I just couldn't do it. And that was like kind of a wake up call, a slight wake up call for me, where it's like, why can't I feel these things? Why can't I genuinely feel these things? And at the time, I honestly just like toss it up to some other factors, and maybe there were other factors, but I now come to think of it, like I think it's also because like I just really lack these things, like from a more fundamental level. Like I might be affected by other people's emotion. Like if a lot of people beside me are like doing a certain thing, I'll go along with them, sure. That's just how people are, but like the weird thing is like whenever I'm having these kind of like physiological reactions to things, my consciousness is elsewhere. I'm filled with confusion. It's like, why is my body reacting this way? I don't know if like this is I don't know if this is like something that people realize, but it's like my physiological reaction seems to be very normal, but my emotional or like my consciousness is on a whole different plane. It's like it's wondering something else. There's like a big disconnect between my body and mind. Oh, maybe I really need to get it checked. Holy shit. I keep on saying I need to get myself, like, I don't know, psychologically evaluated and whatnot, but man. Okay. What else is there? Oh yeah. I think I mentioned before in my previous journal entries about like there's this colleague that I was hanging out with a lot, and with them I think I've kind of determined how close I want to get with them. Like, all things considered, I think at first, when you're still trying to figure out that person, like things are interesting. But eventually, like, you feel like you kind of got things more or less figured out about them, and there's like nothing new for you to learn about them anymore. And this sounds kind of messed up because like it feels like I'm literally treating people like toys. Like, you're not interesting anymore, so I'm going to keep my distance from you. Like, literally treating people as a means to an end, and the means are the persons themselves. The end is what what I can learn about that person, like their person story or their attitude, their personality, their, I don't know, living habits or whatever. All these things are interesting information I like to gather to just like learn about, But when I feel like these things are getting exhausted from them, then I'm like, okay, I'm not really interested in this person anymore. Like, their value as a person literally kind of start to like decrease. Their value begins to decrease the more I kind of like realize how little there are left for me to learn about them or from them. Literally treating people as a means to an end. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe this has to do with my psychopathy. Maybe I am actually a psychopath. Shit, I don't know. But I mean, at least I'm not using it to like harm people, I guess. Though I guess this thing I'm doing in itself is pretty harmful. I guess I'll never tell them about this, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. I say that it's harmful, but when I think about if I tell them and them feeling hurt, honestly, like truthfully, I don't think I really give a damn if they're feeling hurt or not. Like, I just don't want to deal with whatever aftermath there is if they get hurt. Like, that is, I think, my biggest concern. Like, I don't want to deal with like all the messiness when people feel like they get hurt. But yeah, like if it's just like things are casual or is like not much reaction, then I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll tell them about it. I'll be very open about that. But I don't think this person is, exactly that close to me, or at least not like in this department of like closeness, in terms of like how much I can tell them about myself, in terms of the inner workings of my mind. Like, I think there's a limit could be drawn, or a line could be drawn. Maybe this is also why like I can't make new friends. Like, I can't, like, this person, this colleague I've been talking about, it's one thing that I feel like they've exhausted their value, but also like I've also realized that just not many things, we don't really have many interests like aligned. Like, they have this kind of style, I have that kind of style. We're almost like polar opposites. And it's honestly sometimes kind of frustrating to hang out with people like that. Like, some people say like opposites attract. That is the biggest BS I've ever heard. Literally, like, the even for like a psychology like 102 lesson, you learn about like human attraction and whatnot. And one of the, at least my prof, like one of the first few things he says, like, yeah, there's no such thing as like opposites attracts. That's not really a thing. Most of the time, it's people that are close to each other, that have similar interest or share similar hobbies, similar this, similar that become like, that actually get together. Like, people from complete opposite sides of the world, or like opposite sides of life, that like rarely, or is like doesn't really happen at all, or if it happens, it's not exactly a happy kind of like really relationship. It's not a thing, basically. And you know what, I think I agree with that. Like, I don't think I'm really having a lot of fun anymore. Again, I have fun learning about how these kind of people, their existence, about the existence of these kind of people, and how they live out their life. But they're not me. They're very not me. So I'm just gonna like, yeah, you can just stay there. Maybe this is also why like I can't have like many close people in my life, or like create close people in my life, because I do this thing where it's like I consciously like distance people almost. And it's just like becoming kind of like a confirmation bias thing. It's like I distance people so I don't actually get to learn a lot about them. So all I get to learn are the things that I don't like about them. And then feeding into my confirmation bias, and then it's like, see, this is like, this is why I can't make friends with people. And then I just make less friends because I keep telling myself this is how it is. And it's just like, I just don't give people enough of a chance, enough of a trust. Like, I guess I'm just very afraid of becoming like vulnerable to like people. I'm not afraid of like becoming vulnerable to people I don't know who the hell they are. This is why I'm making this journal entry. I'm making it public. It's like, I don't give a damn who the hell is gonna listen to this. Like, I'm saying some like very personal like feeling stuff right now, but I don't think I really give a damn if like who the hell is gonna listen, because like they don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. But if it's like someone I kind of know, that makes it like a lot more awkward. I don't know if other people are like this as well, but it's easier to hang out. Sometimes it's just easier to hang out with a stranger than a friend. And it's like, oh yeah, and then on my list, I talk more about how I treat people as means to an end. I think I said before where I went fishing. Like, I really don't experience like fun things because I'm hanging out with other people. Like, the people are the least fun part when I do any kind of like activities. That's why like I do a lot of I usually do a lot of activities by myself, like going to amusement park and whatnot. But like during that fishing trip, like I didn't interact with other people like at all. I barely talked to them. Maybe like 2-3 sentences, but that was about it. But the fishing, that is the fun part. I had a lot of fun like fishing fish. I caught a fish and I was very excited about it. And I also like got some shrimp. I was very excited about that. And but the people, I don't really give a damn. I honestly think it would have probably would have been better without that many people, because there were quite a lot of people, like 10 including me, with two of the captains, the boat captains. But yeah, I again, people are means to an end. I got to because of those people, I was able to get on that fishing trip. But man, if I could remove those people from the equation, I would. I would. Like, other than the captains, of course, because they gotta help with me with the boat stuff and the fishing part. But yeah. Uh, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because of my personality, maybe it's because of my depression, but I just don't place a lot of value on people, I think. Like, maybe that's all it comes down to. I don't care about people because I don't care about myself. Maybe it's a kind of a projection, right? Like, I don't really value myself a whole lot. Like, I wouldn't really like give myself, like, treat myself very, very well, or like think of myself like deserving of good things. That's why I kind of like prefer to live in like kind of like poorer conditions. How I'm being able to more or less like able to just get used to this kind of like my current like condition with my very crappy pay, and my very crappy like living space. But I've been just getting used to it because I feel like for me right now, this is honestly what I deserve. And at the same time, this is how I also see other people. I see other people like how I see myself. Are you deserving of whatever it is that you have in your life? And if I deem you unworthy of whatever it is you have, I would literally, I think I don't have to sugarcoat it. I'm pretty sure I just look down on them. I don't think they're deserving, so I look down on them. I see them as almost like lesser people. Not that they deserve less rights, but I don't respect them as much when it comes to like a lot of things. Like, obviously, if they have some kind of expertise, then I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're good with that. I'll listen to you on that. But in general, as people, no, maybe not that much. Like, again, this is the categorizing thing I was talking about earlier. Like, I can give you respect as a person versus giving you respect as whatever occupation or societal role you have. Like, if you're like a very good mechanic, but you have kind of like a crappy personality, or that I have deemed you unworthy of your whatever it is that you're doing, of your current like life, I would basically give you respect only in the department of being a mechanic. Like, oh, I need to get this thing fixed. You know, this is something I really trust when it comes to this. But then everything else, like when it comes to, I don't know, maybe hanging out or listening to their opinions on whatever thing, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it's like left ear and right ear out. It's like, it's nothing I wouldn't really listen to them other than the thing I respect them for. And I don't know. It's a very crappy way how I deal with people, is what I've realized. And I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person, and I feel like I've kind of like came to accept this fact. And I don't see myself really changing this part of me either, because I feel like I've always been doing that. I've always been like judging people a lot. Like I'm just a very judgmental person. And I don't know how, like, I cannot evaluate myself on these things because like it's like me judging myself. I don't trust me judging myself because like due to how judgmental I am. Like usually judgmental people aren't exactly the best judges for themselves. They don't really, they don't really see their own flaws when they look in the mirror, or they don't like fully, deeply like truly accept their crappiness, their shittiness when they're talking about themselves. It really needs someone else to point it out to them for it to really hit, even though we might be repeating the same thing. Like I call myself a piece of shit. That's not gonna do anything. It's self-deprecation. Self-deprecation is easy. Other people calling you piece of shit, other people calling me a piece of shit, that is going to be what's going to really hurt. And I think I really need something like that. I need my shittiness to be told by others. But yeah, I think, I don't know. This is just how I am right now. Again, these are, I guess, more long-term things I need to work on. Maybe I'm not gonna work on them at all. Again, like these are part of me, and things that are part of me are things that I don't really want to get rid of, even though I might acknowledge them as not exactly good things. But I don't know. Something I want to like improve just in my daily life is, one, reduce screen time. But I'm kind of afraid of reducing screen time is because I'm kind of afraid of that like kind of like emptiness that you get like during that period. Obviously, like when you're looking at your phone and whatever, scrolling through stuff, your like dopamine stuff are firing off. But once that stops, like that huge change in your mental state, in your brain chemicals, like from 100 to 0, that's a pretty big gap, and that's a really uncomfortable feeling, honestly. And it actually kind of makes me afraid. Like there was a student experiment that we did for practice when I was doing psychology degree. How I mentioned I was doing psychology degree? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, like psychology degree, there was like this student experiment thing. And they were talking, and then when they were doing their presentation, they were talking about how there's this thing called what do you call it? Like a dependency on their phone. I think there's a term for that, but I don't remember what it was. And it's like, oh, they must check their phone just in case they miss a message or whatever. I feel like I never felt it that way. It was never really, oh, I really want to see who is going to text me because I don't give a damn about people. I just want to satisfy my own need to fill my mind with stuff. Thanks for the water sounds. Like to fill my mind with stuff. There might not be like anything like educational, like informative or whatever. Nothing like of substance. They might not be anything of substance. They might just be some shitpost. But I need my mind to be filled with something at all times. Like that's why I've been able to finish so many like manga during my work time. Cause that's all I do. I don't like let my mind go blank. I rarely do that anymore. I used to do that so often when I was at school, like in high school and middle school and whatnot. But nowadays, like if my mind, I think just never gets time to relax. There's always something up. And I really need that detox to get done. I really need it soon. Bless myself. Like I feel it's like a feeling where it's like if I let my head be empty during that period, I feel like I'm kind of like losing a race. It's like my mind is running and then suddenly I stop running. and then I'm lagging behind something. It's not like my mind is like literally racing against other people's minds. And it's not like the things I'm intaking, the information I'm taking in from my phone are anything that would like build myself to be a better person or whatever, to invest myself in any way. They're just stuff they're just stuff. It's just stuffing. But I still feel like I'm missing something out if I don't do it. And I don't know, it's just like it's not good. And the weird thing is, like, me doing this journal entry, me even before recording this whole thing, me writing all these thoughts down on my Google Doc, that's basically the same. I feel like that is technically the same thing as letting my mind go and not having anything else to fill it. Like, I'm just filling my mind with my own stuff right now. I'm not really making anything like new or original, making myself realize anything new about myself. I'm just saying stuff that like general points, like saying stuff based off the general points I've put on this Google Doc in front of me. Like I don't get it. Like, why is there such a difference between just letting my mind be and, I don't know, standing in the train, in the subway station, versus having all these things vocally talked out, or like written down and like handled in some more physical way, versus just having them in my mind. I don't know. Maybe. Like, is self-expression that big of a thing? Like, not just self-expression, like it's not just to have these ideas in your mind, even though it's kind of like the same thing. It is I am saying the same thoughts I was thinking about, like 50-60 minutes ago, when I was still like writing these things down. I've not really deviated from anything, but I'm just repeating my thoughts, but more loud, more vocal way this time. What is the difference? Why is there a difference for me, at least? I don't get it. Man, I don't get it. Oh, I like how in my notes I also ended with I don't get it. But you know what? I don't get it. But that's about it for I guess it would be October entry, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.